Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Now, firstly I just want to apologise for the lack of content I've released lately. I've been really busy lately. My last video was 5 months ago, and since then I've had a lot of stuff to do with school and other things like that. The thing I was actually busiest with was the last video, which I released about a week ago. What were the major changes, improvements and turning points in the history of video games. I spent a lot of time on that video. It took a lot of time recording, editing, research and planning and just all of that. It was a school project, and it just took a lot of work to do, so I had to focus on that rather than making other videos. So if you could just give up. I mean, it's 45 minutes long. I know people don't really want to sit for a 45-minute video, but it took a lot of effort on my part, so I'd really appreciate it if anyone could go back and, just watch a little bit of it, and I don't know, maybe you'll learn a thing or two, and that's always fun. So yeah, it's been 5 months since my last games I bought recently, and to be honest, I haven't bought a great deal in that time. I haven't really had much time to play games as well as buy them. But I've got a few things here, and just like to show you what I've bought in the last 5 months, so let's get started. So first off, I'll just show you the games that I've bought that I haven't had a chance to play yet. One of these is Dragon Quest: The Journey of the Cursed King for PlayStation 2, known in America as Dragon Quest 8. This was actually the first Dragon Quest game that Europe received at all. I've never actually played a Dragon Quest game. Being a huge RPG fan, especially JRPGs, I'm surprised that I've never played one. Definitely want to get around to this, and I'm looking forward to it. It looks really good. Some people say it's the best Dragon Quest game, so playing it as my first one, yeah, it'll probably be a good idea. Next up we have Soul Reaver 2 on the PlayStation 2. I played a lot of the first Soul Reaver game on PlayStation 1, Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, and absolutely loved it. Didn't finish it, but from what I played of it, it was brilliant. One of my favourite PlayStation 1 games, really loved it, so definitely looking forward to starting this. Now onto games I actually have played, the first one being Spider-Man on the PlayStation 1. I got this really cheap, and well, I played it a lot as a kid, so when I saw it for a cheap price I was like definitely picking that up. Didn't realise how short it was when I was a kid. I guess I either just can't remember or put more time into it when I was a kid. It took me like 2 sittings or a couple hours each time, maybe less. But yeah, Spider-Man on PS1, the graphics for this game are brilliant for the PlayStation 1. The voice acting as well, I love the voice acting in this game. They've definitely captured Peter Parker down to a T. This is one of my favourite Peter Parker personas I've seen in anything. I'll probably say this is one of my favourite superhero games. It's really great. This is what they've done. They've put cameos in from other Marvel characters like Captain America, Human Torch, and all of Spider-Man's friends. They even mentioned Thor and stuff. It's really cool. Definitely, if you're into Spider-Man, this game is brilliant. The gameplay is pretty cool too. The levels are really good, and yeah, just a really good game. Check it out. Next up, a game I actually went out of my way to buy. That was Eternal Darkness for the Nintendo GameCube. I heard a lot of great things about this game. It wasn't the horror game I wanted. Like, I was in a big horror kick for a little while when like Slender was released. I played that for a little bit and was like, I want a real horror game now. So I've heard so many good things about this game and wanted to play it for a while. So I decided to go on eBay and pick it up. But yeah, it's not as scary as I thought it would be. There's only a couple bits that really like made me jump. But other than that, the main drive for this game is the sanity meter. Yeah, whenever you see an enemy, your sanity meter drops, and then weird stuff happens. Like the screen will tilt, and you can hear like people crying, and yeah, that's pretty freaky stuff. It's more of a thriller than a horror, really, because that kind of like psychological thing kind of plays with your mind. One thing that you hear a lot of people talking about is like the memory card thing, where it'll randomly come out, oh, your memory card is corrupt, and then yeah, everyone thinks, well, that's really crazy. And when that happened to me, since I heard about it, didn't really bother me too much. But one thing that really freaked me out when I was playing this was I went to save it, because if you die, you go back to where you saved it. So saving often is a good idea for when you're playing this game. So I was about to die, my sanity meter was low, so I went to save it, and then while it was saving, it randomly come up, do you want to delete all of your profiles? And I was like, no, I don't want to delete it. I was mashing the B button, like, no, I don't want to delete my profiles. And it said, deleting profiles. So it pretended to delete all my data, and I was like, what? But then obviously it was revealed that it was fake, and I was a bit annoyed. But yeah, that's really what's really great about this game. Another thing I love about this game is that you go through loads of different eras, from present day all the way to the past, like Roman times, medieval times, Egyptian times, all. Yeah, so you go through a lot of eras, and that's really cool. The story's really great in this game as well, and the mysteries and the puzzles and stuff, they're not too hard, and they're really fun. So yeah, Eternal Darkness, if you're looking for a horror game, it's pretty cool. It's not that scary, but it's just a great game, so you should probably check it out. One thing I didn't like about it, though, was that all the enemies, they're kind of the same. Like, you're introduced to all of the different kinds of enemies. There's like 3 or 4 different kinds of enemies right at the beginning, and yeah, that's it for the rest of the game. It doesn't really get much harder, except for the puzzles, they get a bit harder. The bosses are pretty cool though, so that's really good about this game. So definitely check out Eternal Darkness on Nintendo GameCube, definitely recommended. The rest of the games are portable games. I've bought quite a lot of portable games over the past few months. So start off with PSP, and the first game is Mercury Meltdown. I got this pretty cheap, and I like the look of this, so I picked it up. And it's pretty fun. It's like sort of like Super Monkey Ball-ish, where you kind of guide this blob of mercury around this stage. You don't want it to fall off. You want to collect some puzzles, and there are loads of levels in this. So it's a really fun puzzle game. Do check it out. Really, really cool. Next is Sonic Rivals. What this basically is, it's a 2D Sonic game, sort of like Sonic Rush on the PSP, but instead of just running to the end, you're racing another person, and the characters in this are Sonic, Shadow, Knuckles, and Silver. So the objective is just to beat them to the end. It's pretty fun. It's not as good as Sonic Rush, I'd say. Sonic Rush I really love, but this is a cool Sonic game, cool 2D Sonic game released on the PSP with nice visuals and really cool music. The racing element is, yeah, it's okay. It can be a bit bothersome because you'll find that you're always neck and neck with the AI. You're never really far in front of them or really far behind them, to be honest. Like it kind of adjusts. If you're too far ahead, they'll speed up, or if you're too far behind, they'll slow down. But yeah, pretty cool Sonic game on the PSP. If you find it cheap, maybe pick it up. It's pretty good. Next is a puzzle game that I hear a lot of good things about and found it cheap, so I picked it up, and that is Lumines on PSP. I've never played a Lumines game before, so I saw this cheap and was like, hey, might as well. Yeah, it's pretty good. Sort of like Tetris, where you got falling blocks, but rather than making a line, you want to make a square out of them. You have like 2 colored blocks, and you want to try and make them to form a square of the same colour, and then also like combo to get other squares to form even bigger squares. Yeah, it's pretty simple to get to know, but pretty hard to master. The music in this game, you're supposed to like groove out to the music, but I'm not a huge fan of the music. It's okay. It's pretty cool, funky beats, but not my type of thing. But maybe someone else's. So if you're looking for a cool puzzle game, Lumines is pretty cheap now. So yeah, consider picking it up. Last for PSP is Final Fantasy Tactics: The War of the Lions. Previously I've played other Final Fantasy Tactics games. I played Advance on the Game Boy Advance and Advance 2 on the DS, and I really loved them. I really loved the whole grid mission system, and yeah, just the combat, the grid-based RPGs. Really loved them. So so I bought this thinking it'd be the same thing. It's not really the same thing as the Advance series, if I'm honest. This is a remake of the PS1 one, which didn't come out over here, but it's got updated things like characters like Balthier and Fran from Final Fantasy 12. But it's a lot harder than the Advanced series, because if a character dies, like I was training up a white mage, a black mage, a warrior, and an archer, I think, and my white mage died, and I didn't realise that if they die, they're gone. So I lost my white mage, which I'd given loads of abilities, given loads of stuff to, and yeah, she was just gone. So I no longer had a white mage, so it made that game really hard. I would have had to spend ages training up another white mage. But besides that, it's really fun. I mean, if you can get over that, if you're in for a challenge, then definitely, if you're in for a challenge and you like strategy RPGs, then Final Fantasy Tactics on PSP is a great choice to go with. If you like strategy games but you're not in for a challenge, the Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced series is probably the one for you. So what I often like to do is go on gaming marathons where I'll play all the games from a certain franchise, usually in order of story. So I previously done Metal Gear, and once I'd finished with Metal Gear I moved on to Kingdom Hearts. So I played it in, leading up to the new Kingdom Hearts 3D that was coming out, I played Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep 1, Chain of Memories, 358 Days Over 2, 2, and RE Coded. And I didn't have RE Coded, so I went out and bought Kingdom Hearts RE Coded. Now, this isn't as good as 358 Days Over 2. To be honest, this is probably the weakest in the series. It's kind of cool though. It tries to cross genres, so for the most part it's an RPG game, where the combat's similar to 358 Days Over 2 or other Kingdom Hearts games, just action, smack people till they're dead. And then other parts they try and blend other genres, so there's side-scrolling levels in this. There's like Star Fox 64 type levels in this. There's Final Fantasy like turn-based levels in this, and they're pretty cool. They kind of separate the gameplay between action RPG and other genres, which is pretty fun, pretty unique. And well, the worst thing about this game is the story, because well, I love the Kingdom Hearts story, how it all blends together. There's like one thing in this game that matters that is brought up for a second in Kingdom Hearts 3D. So this game takes like 10 to 15 hours to complete, and there's one thing that actually matters in the game, which was kind of a bummer. The whole game doesn't really occur, because you play as Sora in a computer, in Jiminy's journal, trying to fix all the pieces that were lost from the first Kingdom Hearts game, when they went through the castle and Chain of Memories and lost all their memory. So the fact that you're playing this game and none of it actually happened, but you're told this at the beginning of the game, so it kind of makes it less worthwhile. But the game's pretty cool. The gameplay's fine. The change in genre is pretty cool. So if you're a fan of Kingdom Hearts, definitely check this out. But if you're not, don't start with this, because it's probably the weakest in the series. And on to the first newly released game on the list, Kingdom Hearts 3D, Dream Drop Distance. This game is awesome. This game is really good. This is one of the strongest in the series, and if Kingdom Hearts 2 isn't my favourite, I'd definitely say this is either my first or second favourite, because it is brilliant. So let's start off by talking about the new features. They added a free flow motion into this, which is pretty much just, instead of running about everywhere, you can jump and you can fly and you can jump across the whole map and just keep bouncing off of stuff and then using that to combo attacks and stuff. It works, it's cool, it's fun, but I hope they don't, like, it's great in this game, but it's not something they should keep in the future games, because it just kind of changes it up a bit too much. But one thing that they've taken advantage of this is that they've made places much more bigger. So whereas areas would be pretty small in past Kingdom Hearts games, they've made them really large in this game, which is pretty cool. The Dream Eaters, they're pretty cool too. So basically in this game you don't have Donald or Goofy or any partner. So you have these little Dream Eaters as well, which you have to, you kind of like a little Pokemon system. You have to train them and raise them up and make them happy by showing affection, by rubbing their tummies on the touchscreen and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, and when you train them you get the abilities from the Dream Eaters, so you have to pick really good Dream Eaters that have good attack and good moves and everything, but also make sure they've got the right abilities, so there's a little bit of strategy involved in that. Another feature is the ability to switch between Riku and Sora on the fly. Unlike Birth by Sleep, where you start as Ventus and you finish the game as Ventus and you start as Aqua and finish as Aqua, you're actually playing as both characters at the same time, and what you'll have is a little clock in the corner of the screen. When the clock runs out, you do something that they call drop, where your character will fall asleep and you'll resume the game from the other character. So you're playing both storylines simultaneously, which is it's really cool. It might annoy some people, like when you're in the middle of a boss fight and you've got his health down really low. If you drop in the middle of a boss fight, which happens, it's happened to me. It's pretty annoying. When you go back, so like say you're playing as Sora and you drop. When you go back at playing Sora, the boss will have full health, which can be annoying, but it doesn't happen as often as you think it would happen. Just you have to kind of plan your strategies for when you're going to drop. So the gameplay in this game is really solid, and above that, the graphics. The graphics are brilliant on this. It really shows off the 3DS's capabilities. This game does. The graphics are probably either on par or better than Kingdom Hearts 2. The sound as well. The music in this game is by far the best music in any Kingdom Hearts game. The Fantasia level is absolutely brilliant, where the music will all be manipulated by when you hit stuff, and then it will like hit a drum note or something, which is absolutely brilliant. The worlds in this game as well, like the Fantasia level. Fantasia is one of my favourite Disney films, and that's just been done really brilliantly in this game. The Hunchback of Notre Dame level as well, also been done really well. The Three Musketeers as well. These are like some of my favourite Disney films that have incorporated into this. Pinocchio as well. That was also really brilliant. All the worlds they've put in this game, all the new ones at least, are really cool. Some of them, they say they're new, but like they say the Tron level's new, but we've had Tron in Kingdom Hearts 2. This is just Tron Legacy. More of the same. But all the worlds work really well. Some of the best levels in any Kingdom Hearts games are present in this game. One thing that's always got complaints from some people, but other people love it, is the story. The story, if you played, well, since I was doing a run through of Kingdom Hearts in order of when they came out, the story all made sense to me. What they basically do is they shove loads of concepts at you at once, and then you have to try and grasp them, and then I got most of them. I saw why the characters were coming back, why some of my favourite characters, which were in other games, were coming back, and it sort of made sense, kind of, but you actually have to probably go and research this, the story afterwards, because they throw so many concepts at you at once that there's no way you can actually paint a picture. So you'll have to actually go back and see it, or play the game again to be able to understand it. So besides that, I can't praise this game enough. This is a brilliant Kingdom Hearts game. If you're a fan of Kingdom Hearts, you definitely have to get this. If you're a fan of just action games in general, the gameplay in this game is so solid that even if the story doesn't make sense to you, you'll want to get it for the gameplay alone. They've also thrown in characters from, well, not Final Fantasy, because that's been done in the other Kingdom Hearts games, but The World Ends With You. And I haven't actually played this game, but the characters have been shown off so well in this game that I feel like I need to go out and buy The World Ends With You now, because it looks so brilliant from what they've shown off in this game. One thing that kind of annoyed me about this game is that you get exclusive AR cards included with it, but at least the European version, they're not cards. You get this little leaflet, which has a little card printed on it, and another one on the inside. And now I'm kind of clumsy, so I'm not going to cut these out in case I break them. And also, I don't like getting a game and cutting stuff up that I get inside. That's just not for me. So in America, I know at least in the Mark of Mastery edition, they got actual cards, where we just got some shoddy little piece of paper. But not too much of a bother. I didn't use them. I probably won't use them. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3D, check it out, it is brilliant. And lastly, the game I was probably looking forward to the most out of any game that was coming out this year, and if you know me, if you know what games I like, you knew there was no way I was not going to pick this up. It's Theatrhythm Final Fantasy. Now, I love RPGs, and especially Final Fantasy, and another genre I love is music games. So they pretty much just said, hey, they had a board meeting and they went, hey guys, we need a game that Jamiethepayne is going to enjoy. So they mixed music games with Final Fantasy. And obviously I was very, very happy. So yeah, basically what this game is a music game with Final Fantasy music. There's three types of modes in this game. There's the battle mode, the field mode, and the event mode. And so the battle mode is, it will play battle music from Final Fantasy games, and then you'll see your characters fighting on the top screen. The event mode is, it will show cutscenes from, or just scenes from past Final Fantasy games, and they look really stunning on the 3DS. Even Final Fantasy 13, which is a HD game, looks brilliant on the 3DS screen. They've done it really well. And the field music is where your character will just be running along, and you've got to play stuff on the touchscreen. On all the modes, you've got to play the music on the touchscreen, and it's done in different ways with each mode, which is really cool for a music game to try and incorporate different ways to play. It also tried to incorporate RPG elements, so you can equip your you can make a party of, you choose a bunch of characters and you make a party and go out and play. You can equip them with abilities and items which will help you throughout play. These will help you, like, if your character has more agility, during the field music stages, you'll be able to run farther and find Moogles and get more treasure chests and stuff like that. On the battle mode, if your characters have more attack, you'll be able to defeat more enemies and find more treasure chests and stuff like that. That's all really cool, but to be honest, I cared more about the actual music and playing of this game than the RPG elements. But for people who aren't very skilled at music games, it will help you. You won't be able to fail songs as easily, depending on what abilities or items you use. So that'll be a big boost and a big help for people who aren't very skilled at music games. To be honest, the only bad thing I can say about this game is that it didn't incorporate some of the music I like, which any music game is going to leave out songs that you want to be put in. But thankfully this game has DLC, which I haven't used. I haven't bought any yet, but I'm planning on in the future buying songs for this game. Yeah, so there are definitely songs that they should have put in, which they didn't. Well, like the Final Fantasy IX boss theme. How did you not put that in? That song's really great. And even the Final Fantasy X just music battle music in general wasn't put in. The good thing is they can release them as DLC, but they can only release field and battle music as DLC. They can't release event music as DLC. And event music tends to be like big moments in the game that put in a cutscene, like on Final Fantasy VIII. Waltz for the Moon was used as the event music, which was the scene where Squall and Rinoa first meet and they start dancing. They can't put music in as DLC as that, because it wouldn't work for field or battle music. So they're kind of limited in what DLC they can use, which is a bit of a bummer. This game is really, really fun, and I encourage any people who are just into fun games, fun, quirky little music games, to definitely pick this up. And if you're a fan of Final Fantasy, this is a love song to Final Fantasy fans, definitely. See what I did there? But yeah, to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy with a game like this is absolutely brilliant, and I completely endorse it. This is one of my favourite games of the year, definitely. I'm not disappointed. I have put loads of hours into this game, and I'm going to continue playing this game for a long time. I love it. So this was the first video I made for a while, and I'm hoping will be the first of many to come. I have some reviews in the pipeline that have been there for a while, and I'm going to be making loads more videos very soon of loads of different things. So definitely subscribe if you don't want to miss out. I have some videos planned. Will hopefully be up in the next week or two. And yeah, loads more will follow suit after that. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.